What's up, everyone? It's Denise Salcedo. Welcome back to the channel. As always, one of my favorite guests here to have on the show, NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. Roxanne, it's always a good time when you're on.
Thanks. I love coming on. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I love the red look, by the way. It's like
Thank
red lip,
you.
red dress, and really pops out.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So you got a lot going on. I think, okay, so the last time you and I spoke, you were heading into your match with Jordynne Grace. And since
Yes.
then, you've had some amazing matches, not just with Jordynne Grace, but Thea Hail, Lola Vice, really a lot of really great opponents. I kind of want to start there, Roxanne, because I do want to get your thoughts on the last several matches that you have been having to defend your NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah, I think the second run has been so fun for me. I feel like I've definitely been able to solidify myself as, you know, one of the best women's wrestlers in NXT. In I feel like in the WWE because my first run, I was still like a little nervous. I had just gotten signed here. I felt like I definitely felt the pressure. And this time around, I feel like I don't feel as much pressure. I feel like this is where I belong. I belong with the NXT Women's Championship. I belong putting on all these great matches for everybody to see, and yeah, it's been awesome.
I feel like you're constantly being tested, right? It's like so many different types of opponents, so many different types of scenarios, whether it's on Raw, NXT, the Royal Rumble. I mean, all of these different things that you've gotten to do. It always feels like you're just knocking these tests like out of the park. I do want to go ahead and touch on your match with Thea Hail, Roxanne, because oh my God, I was watching that and just going, holy smokes, they freaking killed it. And
Thank
here's the
you.
thing, both of you coming off of that match, the first thing I thought of was they are so freaking young and they are already putting on matches like this. I want to get how you felt like before the match, during the match, after the match. Like, did you feel as good as how the fans felt when they were watching?
Oh my God, yes. What was so cool about that was I think it was Sean that told me. He's like, this is the youngest match in NXT history that we've ever had. So that definitely was a little bit of pressure, but I felt like it wasn't like it wasn't too much pressure. It felt like, okay, that's really cool, but I think we're definitely gonna knock it out of the park, and we did. I think like I remember being in the match and like hearing the fans like when we were trading submissions and hearing the fans get so excited and not knowing like where it was gonna end. It was such a good feeling. Like I feel like that's always the feeling that I want to get every time I'm out there in a match where like the crowd is just so excited, and that was definitely one of the matches. So yeah, we both felt that after it was one of my favorite matches of all time for sure.
And I feel like Thea Hale, she has been consistently killing it. She's been doing her own thing. But for her to be challenging for the NXT Women's Championship, it was, the biggest, like I would say, the biggest match of her career. And to
Mhm.
see you guys just both go out there was so good. But I do want to get your thoughts on Thea Hale because I feel like she's someone that has a great personality and she has been just getting better and better in the ring, like so good. And I think sometimes people forget.
Oh my God, no, yeah, I agree. I think Thea Hale's one of the most talented girls that we have in that locker room, and she's only 20. So yeah, it's oh my gosh, she's awesome, and I love to like mixing it up in there with her, and I'd love to do it again. But yeah, I think she's gonna be something super super special.
That's so cool. And I also want to ask you about your feud with Lola Vice because she's another person that has came in and just sort of rocked everybody's world. A very dominant start in NXT. Like when you
Yeah.
see competitors like Lola Vice come in, especially since she came in from like the Bellator world, from MMA, and now she's here in pro wrestling. And you guys have had two totally different journeys. What was
Yeah.
it like getting to work with Lola?
Yeah, we've definitely had like completely different journeys, but almost the same. Like I totally respect her for everything that she did like before she came into WWE. Because she had her own struggles, she had her own like everything. So yeah, I respect all of that about her, and I think it's also really cool that like it goes to show that the performance center totally works. Like we have the best coaches in the world. We have these girls coming in within a year or two. They're already like putting on great matches on NXT, and that's like mind-boggling to me because it took me like what, like 7, 8 years to get here. So yeah, props to all of them. Like it's really cool to see.
As champion, it just feels like you have a lot to play with, right? It's like, oh, all of these feuds have been so different from Jordynne to Thea to everybody. It's been a different story. So for you, every person that you work with, what's the process as I think what I'm trying to get at, like for you as a champion, as a storyteller, as a performer, do you have like a process or like a goal in mind every time you get into a new feud, a story?
Yeah, I think like what's cool about our division is like we have so many women now, but every single woman is so different and diverse, and you know, everybody has their own style in the ring. So it's really cool to be able to like get in with all these different women, you know. Jordynne was so different than Lola, and then Thea was so different than Lola, and then we have like, you know, we have all these women that are just, I just get so excited to get in there with them, and now I'm getting in there with Jaida Parker. But I feel like I usually just always like I'm keeping an eye on all of them. So I watch their matches. I study them, and I just figure out how can I mesh my style with theirs to put on like the best match that we possibly can.
And before we get to Jaida Parker, which one do you think's been your favorite match from your second reign so far?
Ooh, that's hard. Honestly, I might have to say Thea, cause yeah, that was like probably one of my favorite matches in my entire career, to be honest.
Oh, I love that. That's so
Yeah.
awesome. And it's like, down the line, in the future, later on, when you guys are both at WrestleMania, it's something
Yes.
to like look back on and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Jaida Parker, NXT No Mercy, September 1st. Jaida Parker, another totally different opponent from anybody that you've worked with. She's on the rise, gaining popularity and momentum as we go. Initial impressions of Jaida and going into this match with her at NXT. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited. I was just talking about this. I remember, you know, she's only been here for like maybe a year or so. And I remember when she first got here, we were actually in a class together, and she was just getting started. She was just learning, and I was kind of like helping her out a little bit. But I remember she'd always come and like ask me questions, and I always saw like that spark in her eyes of like, okay, like she wants this, like she really wants this. And now to see her like how far she's come a year later, like now we're gonna put on a pay-per-view match for my NXT Women's Championship, and yeah, you know, she definitely oozes aura, confidence, all of that. Like future champion for sure, but it's not quite her time yet.
You're
Sorry,
like, not on my watch.
Jada.
Roxanne, one of the things that you mentioned while talking about Jaida and her going up to you, and it got me thinking, what does it feel like for you when you have all of these young girls coming, or I was going to say you're young too, but these newer girls, rather, I should rephrase, newer girls coming into the business, and that they come in and, ask you for advice? Like, how does that feel good? Like, how does it sink in for you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I love helping out other people. Like if you want to come up to me and ask me questions, like I'm all for it. I'm still like that to this day. I was gonna say I used to always be like that, but I'm still like that to this day. Like, you know, I have Booker T there every single Tuesday, so I'm still going up to him asking what I can do better, what I can work on. So yeah, to now have people come up to me and ask me those questions, it's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, it's like a circle. You're like, they're asking me, I'm asking this person,
Yeah.
and we just go
Yeah.
from there. That's really cool. Roxanne, we got about a minute or so left on this interview, and I do want to ask you if you're down. I've been playing this GOAT game where I ask people, I give them two options of two wrestlers, and they tell me who they're a bigger fan of or who they think the GOAT is until they're left with one person. Are you game
Okay.
enough to play it?
I am. Let's
All
do
right, well,
it.
let's do it. I got 13 names for you, so here we go. Starting things off with Trish Stratus or Lita.
Ooh, that's so hard. Uh, I'm gonna have to go with Lita.
Lita or China?
Personally, Lita.
Lita or Charlotte Flair?
Ooh, maybe Charlotte Flair.
Oh, okay. Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch?
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch or Rhea Ripley?
Ooh, that's hard. I have to go with Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch or Bianca Belair?
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch or Asuka?
These are hard. But I'm gonna stay with Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch or Bailey?
Ooh, Bailey.
Bailey or AJ Lee?
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee or Sasha Banks?
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee or Mickey James?
AJ Lee. I think we're just gonna keep going from here. AJ Lee.
Last one, AJ Lee or Natalia?
AJ Lee.
I had a feeling she's the winner. I had a feeling. I was like, once I throw AJ Lee in there, it's game over.
It's done for.
It's done for, exactly. Roxanne, I appreciate you being game enough to play the GOAT game with me. I love your love for AJ Lee and all of that. So, as always, thank you so much. Before we go, let people know where they can watch NXT No Mercy on September 1st.
Yes, you can watch NXT No Mercy September 1st on Peacock. And we will be in Denver, Colorado. So if you want to stop by, tickets are still on sale.
Wonderful. Thank you so much to Roxanne Perez, your NXT Women's Champion. Guys, do not miss NXT No Mercy September 1st, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.